When it comes to modern cinema, everybody and their mother seems to have an opinion. When it comes to video games, everybody and their mother seems to have an opinion. But when you bring movies and video games together, no one seems to have a strong enough opinion. This has been a very long time coming. I've been waiting to start this series for a very long time, but it seems now is the right time to do it. Because oh boy, we're in trouble. God help me. As a writer and storyteller myself, I know what makes a great story. As an actor who's played unstable and diverse characters, I know what makes great characters. As a veteran gamer, growing up on the likes of Final Fantasy, Sonic, Mortal Kombat, and others like it in the pioneer gaming industry, I know what makes a great game. Put all three of those together and you get one hell of a qualified motherfucker. Which is exactly what led me to start this series of diving into adaptations. In the coming episodes of this series following this one, we're going to be scrutinizing video game adaptations and seeing where they went wrong and where they went right, if they even did go right. For movies as well as video games, basically the pinnacle of humanity's form of entertainment, the level of scrutiny from the fans is basically unmatched. The studios behind these daring projects have just one goal in mind. Let's make money! I wouldn't say that would go in the book of brightest decisions made by companies in history, especially when you have a fan base larger than the population of several continents combined. You see, their level of expectation is severely altered from the normal level of expectation a civilian would have after watching only a trailer and not have any source material to go by whatsoever. So naturally, me being one of these obsessive scrutinizing fans, I have a very good idea of where the issues lie. I guess for movies and video games, evidently it's the hardest fucking thing in the world to make a proper movie from a video game. Whether it's because the crew member and the production team, writers, etc., that are unfamiliar with the source material, or the studios behind the project took full creative control and just had a terrible understanding of the project conceptually, because I guarantee they don't know the source material. So in other words, it all comes down to no one involved being familiar with the source material. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole smorgasbord of issues that are wrong with modern cinema today. I'll leave that to the drinker. Or perhaps I'll save that for another video, my fellow consumer. But one issue I will discuss today with modern cinema is the fact that nobody gives a fuck. So basically the toilet seat has shit streaks on it from all the shitstorm of movies and TV we've been receiving for the last decade. And yet, still people are sitting down on it like, oh yeah, looks fine to me. Take a seat there, laddie. These dull, lackluster studios think their shit don't stink. But you and I know the truth. And they can't hide it anymore because the shit is now bursting through the cracks of the giant hardened shit wall that was created to blockade the tsunami of shit that's still coming our way this year. Courtesy of the studios I don't need to name, but we all know. Looking at the last few projects that have come out recently, I can tell you right now, the only thing that comes to mind that's even remotely of quality is The Last of Us. Do you know why The Last of Us is done so well? It's because Neil Druckmann is still involved. Neil Druckmann still has control. Neil Druckmann is a strong enough presence where nobody's gonna tell him no. He really knows best in this project. So with Neil still being in control, things are going very well. The writing is excellent. The characters are deep and complex. The story is engaging. It feels real, it feels raw, it feels like these things could really happen if you were really living in this world. This is why it's such a fantastic adaptation. Now, if you take another TV show and compare it to that, like Halo, Halo did terribly. They cranked so much money into the Halo TV series, and it totally bombed. It did so poorly. The fact of the matter is, they had all this money to blow, and they thought that was the only thing that mattered. They were sorely mistaken. What really matters is hiring people and bringing people on to the production that truly understand the source material. Why didn't you bring people on that have played Halo before? Why didn't you do that? What's wrong with you? Any production I'm going to be involved with that's a video game adaptation, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to work with anyone who has never played that game, or if they don't play video games, they haven't done their extensive research on it. Everybody I work with sticks to the source material. That is just the way things go. If you do not understand the source material, you are not fit for this project. Plain and simple, money will not buy you knowledge. Money will buy you gear. Money will buy you production value. Money will not buy you creative talent. The problem is people don't understand that. They just throw money in all these different directions and they don't understand that you need to be knowledgeable when it comes to the source material. Now at this point, you might be asking yourself why The Last of Us is a successful series and why Uncharted was a complete flop, even though Sony's looking at it as a decent moneymaker, which I don't agree with. But anyway, the reason being is because the movie Uncharted was not written by Neil Druckmann. Neil Druckmann had minimal involvement in the movie Uncharted. But if you take the series The Last of Us, Neil Druckmann played a very large role in that series. He helped with the story, he wrote it, and he made sure everyone involved in that series knew exactly what they were doing and were very familiar with the source material. I don't think they took the same amount of care when it came to the Uncharted film series. So there's that. A video game adaptation is not anything more difficult to pull off if you're a production company that is experienced in making films. Bring on the people that have played games. Look at Henry Cavill. He was a perfect example. He played Geralt of Rivia better than anyone else could have played it. Do you know why? It's because he knows the source material. He knows Geralt. He understands what kind of character Geralt is. He understands the world. He understands the lore. He's read the books. He's a gamer. He gets it. Do you know why he left The Witcher? It's because they didn't want to stick to the source material and they didn't want to honor the character and the Witcher series. This is why he left. Movie making is a tricky business. Developing video games is a tricky business. It all really depends on who's in charge and who's got creative control. And really, who gives a fuck? Because the big boys with the money are the ones calling the shots. And they just want more money. Alright, well the video's over. So, until next time, I guess. Bye for now.